Courtenay Smale from Newquay. For something like 40 years now, I've been interested in researching and collecting Douglas Pinder's paintings. In the initial years, I managed to buy quite a number at the auction houses, mainly in Penzance, and have built up an archive of something like 400 photographic images of Douglas Pinder's paintings. I should say that apart from Douglas Pinder, whose full name was Douglas Housen Pinder, he was born in 1886 in Matlock in Derbyshire. His family moved to Cornwall in the early 1900s, and his mother ran a dame school in Oakley Terrace near the railway station, and later moved to a dame school in Bury Road. Pinder was articled to John Eder, a local architect in Fore Street, Newquay, but after a short time he decided he wanted to become a full-time artist. He married in 1911, and shortly after that moved to Plymouth, and once again in a short time he moved out to Horrabridge, and it's from Horrabridge that he would have painted most of his Dartmoor scenes. In the early days he used the name he used the name Ben Graham, and you'll see many of the early Dartmoor paintings either in gouache or watercolour. By the First World War he had moved back to Newquay, and with his wife and young daughter Ruth eventually became an artist in her own right and lived at Port Isaac, but Douglas lived at St Mary's Road, and eventually took a lease on number 80 Fore Street, which became his Town Studios, where he sold not only paintings but all manner of things that would be of interest to the holiday maker. His style of painting changed. You can see a much bolder type of brushstroke in his post-Second World War period paintings, by which time he was signing himself Douglas Pinder or Douglas H. Pinder. He never drove a car. He had a bicycle, and within the framework of the bicycle he installed a purposely built shaped case for his artist materials, and anywhere within the Newquay region he would have cycled and done his sketching. If he wanted to paint further afield, for example Polperro or Mount Bay, he would have used the train back at that time. Pinder died in 1949, and the shop was continued to be run by his daughter and second wife for a short period, but Pinder never became involved socially in any artist circles. You could say that he was a loner. Not only that, during the First World War he was a conscientious objector, and the tribunal that examined him at Bodmin granted him non-combat duties, but he still had to serve. Pinder's paintings today probably are not increased in value to the extent one might have expected, with the exception of the top 5%. The top 5% would have been painted with a lot of care and of higher quality, and were largely purchased by local hoteliers, guest house owners in Newquay. The lower grade paintings tended to be sold through the shop, mainly to tourists visiting Cornwall.